This is Art Television.
වැඩි දෙනෙකුට තෑගි දෙන්න අපි සූදානම්. සුපිරි වාසනාව. තෑගි රටා වෙනස් වුණා. තෑගි වැඩි වුණා. දිනන්න පහසු වුණා. අපි අලුත් වෙලා. සුපිරි වාසනාව හඹා ගියොත් දිනුම්.
NLV ජීවිතයේ සිහිනයට වාසනාවේ ආශිර්වාදය.
Coming up, State of Business, sponsored by
අතන මෙතන හැමතැනම තියෙන සේවාවන් එක තැනකට ගෙන MySLT app දැන් සියලුම SLT මොබිටෙල් සේවාවන් වලට MySLT app හරහා එකවර පිවිසීමේ හැකියාව. SLT මොබිටෙල් එකම එක සැබඳියාව.
IWS Aviation.
A very good evening and a very warm welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Savindri Jawad and let's look at the top stories for the day. An island-wide travel restriction imposed from 11 p.m. tomorrow to 4 a.m. next Monday. The measures have been taken to control the entry and the spread of the Indian variant of coronavirus, government assures. News in detail. Police spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana said that an island-wide travel restriction will be imposed from 11 p.m. tomorrow to 4 a.m. till next Monday in order to prevent a further spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. He also added that after Monday, the travel restrictions will come into effect from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. daily till May 31st.
ඒ අනුව හෙට රාත්‍රී 11 සිට සඳුදා උදෑසන 4 දක්වා සම්පූර්ණ කාල පරිච්ඡේදය පුරාම මෙම සංචාරන සීමාව ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා. නැවත සඳුදා රාත්‍රී සිට රාත්‍රී 11 සිට පාන්දර 4 දක්වා පමණක් මැයි මාස 31 වෙනිදා දක්වා මෙම සංචාරන සීමාව ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනු ලබනවා. ජනතාවගේ නිල්ලා සිටිනවා විශේෂයෙන්ම ඊට අනුගතව කටයුතු කරන ලෙසට. ඒ අනුව හෙට රාත්‍රී 11 සිට සඳුදා උදෑසන 4 දක්වා කාලය තුල සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම සංචාරණයේ සීමා වෙනවා. අත්‍යවශ්‍ය සේවා, ඖෂධ සේවා, සෞඛ්‍ය සේවා, ඒ වගේම ජලය, විදුලිය, sannivedanයට අදාළ ආයතන, ඒ වගේම යම් ආකාරයකට මාධ්‍ය වලට අදාළ ආයතන එවැනි අයට පමණයි නිසි ආකාරයකට පරීක්ෂා කිරීමකින් පසුව ගමන් කිරීමට හැකියාව ලැබෙන්නේ. අනිත් සියලුම අයට සංචාරණය මෙම කාල පරිච්ඡේදය තුල සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම සීමා වනු ලබනවා.
Moreover, police spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana also said that people can travel for non-essential purposes from tomorrow to the end of this month based only on the approved last digits of the ID numbers of the day. Accordingly, on odd dates of the calendar, people with the national ID number ending with 13579 can leave their homes, while those with the numbers 02468 can leave their homes on even dates. He stressed that ID number system will apply only for the non-essential purpose travels. Daily movements will be permitted from tomorrow till 31st May based only on the approved last digits of the ID numbers of the day. Police also said that only one person per household can leave their home as per amended guidelines issued by the Ministry of Health today. Accordingly, on odd dates of the calendar, one person from the same family with the national identity number, driving license or passports ending with 13579 can leave their homes, while those with the number 02468 can leave their homes on even dates. A driving license or passport can be produced only if the individual does not have a national ID. The police warned that legal action will be taken if anyone attempts to deceive the authorities by using all forms of IDs just to step out of the house. Police spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana further added that the ID system will not apply to those involved in essential services.
කෙසේ වෙතත් මේ වන විට බස්නාහිර පළාත තුල එන්නත් කිරීමේ වැඩපිළිවෙලක් ක්‍රියාත්මක වනු ලබනවා. ඒ අනුව තමන්ගේ ආසන්නතම එන්නත් කරන මධ්‍යස්ථානයේට ඒ සඳහා කැඳවා ඇති පුද්ගලයින්ට ගමන් කිරීමට හැකියාවක් තිබෙනවා. ඒ අය සඳහා මෙම සංචාරණ සීමාව අදාළ වන්නේ නැහැ. කෙසේ වෙතත් ලබන සඳුදා දිනෙන් පසුව වුවත් මැයි මාස 31 වෙනි දින දක්වා සෑම දිනයකම රාත්‍රී 11 සිට පාන්දර 4 දක්වා අදාළ සංචාරණ සීමාව ඒ ආකාරයටම ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා.
State Minister of Primary Healthcare, Epidemics and COVID Disease Control, Dr. Sudarshini Fernando-Pulle said that all the measures have been taken to control the entry and spread of the Indian variant of coronavirus to the country. Addressing a media briefing virtually this morning, State Minister Dr. Sudarshini Fernando-Pulle also added that the symptoms of the Indian variant B16172 was found only with one patient in Sri Lanka.
Actually, B117 has been identified as the prevalent strain during this third outbreak. This was detected from samples taken from, I think it's from Colombo, Kurunegala, Gampaha. So likewise, the prevalent strain right now is B117. But of course, because of our surveillance system, the Indian variant had been identified in one sample, and I think Dr. Sudas Samaravira explained, gave the details about this patient. This patient who was in a quarantine center, who was PCR positive, who was treated, he was quarantined, treated, and then an additional extended quarantine for another 7 days was introduced. So right now, according to my knowledge, the Indian variant has been identified only in one person. Right now we have suspended all air travel between Sri Lanka and India, and also the Navy has been requested to guard the coast, especially in the northern, because there are fisher boats in the sea, and there could, the certain trade takes place in the sea. So the Navy has been alerted to be very vigilant about such interactions with Sri Lankans and Indians in order to avoid bringing the Indian strain into Sri Lanka, because it's thought to be highly infective and causes very high mortality. So right now, Indian variant was identified in one sample, but we continue surveillance, so we might be able to get more information in the weeks to come.
Stay tuned for more news right after this break.
ලැප්ටොප් දෙන සර්ප්‍රයිස් එක ආවනේ මේක තමයි නියම දිනම මේ රටේ එන්න මල්ලි මේ ලැප්ටොප් Fiesta SLT මොබිටෙල් නම් වින්දමා රීලෝඩ් සා බිල් පේමන්ට් දාලා ගන්න ලැප්ටොප් එක ලැප්ටොප් දිනමු අපි දැන් එක්කලා
SLT මොබිටෙල් මොබයිල් සහ හෝම් පාරිභෝගිකයන්ට රීඩෝඩ් හෝ බිල් ගෙවන සෑම රුපියල් 50කටම ලැප්ටොප් දිනා ගන්න අවස්ථාවක්.
SLT මොබිටෙල් සමගින් දිනන්න.
SLT මොබිටෙල් එකම එක සැබඳියාව.
ටෙක්ස්ටෝරියම් අංකානෝනාවිය කිලින් වීදිය කුළඹිකුළා.
වැඩි දෙනෙකුට තෑගි දෙන්න අපි සූදානම්. සුපිරි වාසනාව. තෑගි රටා වෙනස් වුණා. තෑගි වැඩි වුණා. දිනන්න පහසු වුණා. අපි අලුත් වෙලා. සුපිරි වාසනාව හඹා ගියොත් දිනුම්.
NLB ජීවිතයේ සේනයට වාසනාවේ ආශිර්වාදය.
Welcome back after the break. The central bank announces that it will remain committed to providing support to the economy at a time where the economy has faced with major disruptions due to the third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. CBSL Governor Professor W.D. Lakshman told the media that the third wave of the pandemic has highlighted the risk to the economy due to the extremely unpredictable nature of the pandemic. Central Bank Governor Professor W.D. Lakshman said that the economy was recovering from the second half of 2020 onwards, even though certain restrictions were put in place during the second wave occurring in October. Professor W.D. Lakshman said that the central bank annual report was formulated at a time when the economy was rapidly returning to normalcy, and with the rise of the third wave, there might be a need to revise the forecast. Addressing the media personnel virtually yesterday, CBSL chief also warned that the latest patient numbers are indicative of the challenges we face. Praising public policy during the pandemic, the governor also said that the economic management had never been more challenging than in 2020 in the entire post-independence history. He further said that the government and the central bank had to deploy almost all the tools at their disposal to steer the economy through very difficult and unfamiliar circumstances. Professor Lakshman reiterated the fact that all debts, both foreign and domestic, falling due so far have been serviced by the government. He also predicted growth in the tradable sector as the global economy expands faster than expected. He also stressed that private sector credit growth gathered pace, thereby supplementing domestic capital formation that was needed to catalyze the novel growth model of the government. In the meantime, Prime Land Residency's initial public offering was oversubscribed on its official opening day yesterday and officially closed this evening as per the prospectus. Following the debut of Prime Land Residency's IPO, the company's oversubscription forecast proved to be true as the initial 100 million shares were purchased in record time. The board of directors have decided to exercise the option to issue up to a maximum of a further 87.5 million shares as set out in the prospectus. In line with this, the issue closed at 4:30 p.m. this evening and application forms were accepted until such time. The investors stand a dual benefit from the growth of both the real estate market and the share market, which has also seen highly positive growth forecasts over the turn of the year, having secured returns after investing in a reputed, reliable company such as Prime Lands Residencies. Much to the benefit of the investors, Prime Lands Residencies had offered the IPO at a 40% discount, allowing investors to reap a significant capital gain. The company also stated that the investors will be eligible to avail a significant dividend payout of 40% from the profits at the end of the financial year 2021 of 975 million rupees profit after tax within a few months of the listing. Commenting on this landmark achievement for Prime, its chairman Premalal Brahmanage said that the company recognized the importance of meeting shareholder expectations, which is fundamental for a listed company. He also added that the company believes that together with investing public, they can continue to shape the nation's horizon. Sri Lanka stocks closed 0.11 yesterday, pushed by Brown's Investment, Arcity and Lanka Oryx Finance Company after Monday's dip. The forex market remained mostly inactive yesterday as the rupee was nominally bid from spot up to around 6 months forward at 199 rupees and 90 cents to the US dollar with no offers. On Monday, small volumes were quoted at around the 202 spot fix given to the forex market after an earlier non-credible peg at 199 rupees and 90 cents was devalued. On Tuesday, banks were offering dollars at 202 for currency, for telegraphic transfers and for business transactions at the same fixed 202 rupees on their websites. On Monday, rupee was quoted between 198 rupees to 202 rupees to the US dollar in the spot market after a non-credible peg of 199 rupees and 95 cents was lowered to 202 rupees to the US dollar. Meanwhile, the dealers also said that in the secondary market, bond yields remain unchanged in dull market trade. Dealers also said the market was on a standstill ahead of Wednesday's 20 billion rupees bond auction. At a weekly bills auction held yesterday, 47 billion rupee bills were offered, but only 21 billion rupees or 45% of the offered amount was accepted. Sri Lanka stocks closed 0.11% higher yesterday, pushed by Brown's Investment, Arcity and Lanka Oryx Finance Company after Monday's dip. Net foreign sales were 203.47 million rupees. The Colombo benchmark all-share price index gained 7.58 points to close at 7,143.38. The index dipped minutes after opening to intraday's lowers 7,130.4, however picked up immediately after to remain volatile throughout the day. The S&P SL 20 index of more liquid stocks up 0.18% or 5.21 points to close at 2,843.4. Turnover was 1.1 billion rupees with 94 stocks gaining and 63 falling. Stay tuned for more news right after this break.
දැන් සියලුම SLT මොබිටෙල් සේවාවන් වලට MySLT app හරහා එකවර පිවිසීමේ හැකියාව.
ලැප්ටොප් දෙන සර්ප්‍රයිස් එක ආවනේ. මේක තමයි නියම දිනුම මේ රටේ. එන්න මල්ලි මේ ලැප්ටොප් Fiesta. SLT මොබිටෙල් නම් වින්දමා. රීලෝඩ් සා බිල් පේමන්ට් දාලා ගන්න ලැප්ටොප් එක දිනමු අපි කනෙක්ට් වෙලා.
SLT මොබිටෙල් මොබයිල් සහ හෝම් පාරිභෝගිකයන්ට රීඩෝඩ් හෝ බිල් ගෙවන සෑම රුපියල් 50කටම ලැප්ටොප් දිනා ගන්න අවස්ථාවක්.
SLT මොබිටෙල් සමගින් දිනන්න.
SLT මොබිටෙල් එකම එක සැබඳියාව.
වැඩි දෙනෙකුට තෑගි දෙන්න අපි සූදානම්. සුපිරි වාසනා. තෑගි රටා වෙනස් වුණා. තෑගි වැඩි වුණා. දිනන්න පහසු වුණා. අපි අලුත් වෙලා. සුපිරි වාසනා හඹා ගියොත් දිනුම්.
NLB ජීවිතයේ සේනයට වාසනාවේ ආශිර්වාදය.
Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The All-Share Price Index gained 18.39 points to close at 7,161.77 and the S&P SL20 gained 7.03 points to close at 2,850.40. The turnover was 2.74 billion rupees and over 153 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. And that's all news for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Until then, take care and good night.